What is up, YouTube? Bubbles and Ball Cards back with another video. Hope everybody is doing well out there. We got playoff baseball starting. Congrats so far to the Cubs. And who won the first game? Detroit. Detroit. Yes, Scooball had a great game. 14 strikeouts over Cleveland. Today, I got a few things that I want to share with you guys. If you are a collector, specifically a player collector, I think you will really understand what this means to me. If you followed this channel for any length of time and know the players that I enjoy collecting, you know what this will mean to me. But anyway, before I get into that, I want to take you over to the YouTube channel. I've talked about doing a podcast with Carlos and Eric on Carlos's channel because I'm Carlos. Well, Carlos texted me after we recorded last night and figured out how to set it up for the collaboration. And so now you don't even have to go find Carlos's channel. If you go to my channel and scroll down to the bottom, there's going to be a collaboration section and the podcast will be there. So you can check out the podcast. We drop it every Tuesday morning. We've been doing it for over 2 years now, I believe. I'd have to go back and count, but I think we're over 2 years of doing it. A little bit of goofing off, a little bit of seriousness. We talk a little collecting. We talk some maybe hobby news, some opinions, some thoughts. Silly card of the week. Go over there and vote each week. Pickups, all that kind of stuff. So go check it out. You can find it now right here on my channel as well as Carlos's. So just wanted to share that. All right. What am I talking about? Well, if you've been around the channel, you know that pretty much my main PC guy is Michael A. Taylor. I would put him as a 1A, 1B, Taylor and Robles. But I've always said that the one card, if there was one card out there, I did it years ago when I did, top 5 cards from each sport or whatever. I even put this card in that video. It was a Michael Taylor. It is specifically the 2014 Bowman Chrome Michael Taylor Superfractor Auto. So for years, I've been, collecting Taylor, talking about him, a fan of his game. And so Friday night, I realized the Sox were in town. We were watching the game. I also knew that Bob Carpenter, if you're a baseball fan and you appreciate, I'm sure if you got a favorite team, you get to know and enjoy certain, commentators. And Bob Carpenter has been the Nats' voice for the TV games since 2005, since the team, came to or became as a team. I don't know why I'm having such difficulty talking. Anyway. For 20 years, he's been the voice for the TV games, and he also was announcing his retirement. But we watched the game Friday, and then we caught like the middle of the game on Saturday, and it was pouring down rain. Like the field was a mess. But anyway, they mentioned that Michael Taylor was retiring after Sunday's game. Now, I had wondered if he was going to continue on playing, and if so, how long. People had asked me, why did he retire? Well, it's kind of simple. He's 34. He'd be 35 next season. He has 2 young kids. He has a wonderful wife. He's played a 12-year career. Some say 10-year, but technically it spans 12 seasons, 12 years. He's far from, if he continued playing, he's far in the distance from being a Hall of Fame player. He has won a Gold Glove. He's won a World Series. As I like to say, he's got the dream World Series statistics of a player. He saw one pitch, had one swing, hit a home run, and is a World Series champion. You can't really beat that, right? If you were a kid growing up, and you were told, hey, you get to have one at bat in the World Series and you could see one pitch and you hit a home run, you would be ecstatic, right? So he has some accomplishments, but he's nowhere close to, fielding a Hall of Fame career. So the last 4 years, he's played on 4 different teams. He played on the Royals, he played on the Twins, he played on the Pirates, and then he played on the White Sox. So he's had to move his family around in 4 consecutive seasons. And he was on a 1-year deal with the White Sox, and so it would have taken them to say, okay, we're going to invest in you again so he wouldn't have to move or become a free agent and then start fielding offers and, do what's right and likely move again. So I can see and I completely understand, and I actually appreciate his decision of making this choice. It also talks about when, right here it says, to be able to play my last game of my career here in this ballpark in front of these fans is just the icing on the cake. So I guess when they looked, he'd probably been thinking about it, was talking to his wife, Brianna. When they looked at the schedule and saying, hey, the last series is in D.C., it just kind of made sense. It probably felt right to get to retire where it all began. So I jumped on a Saturday night, looked to see, what tickets were available. There was actually front row tickets, center field. That's where he plays, center fielder. He does dabble in left and right, but even still, center field, I knew the seats would be good. Jumped there was 2 tickets, $26 a piece. I couldn't beat it. Jumped on them, and me and the missus got up Sunday morning and made our venture into DC. For those that don't know, I live just south of DC. I always, when I go to the ballpark, I jump on the Vienna Metro line, take it on up. You got to swap trains, take it over to the Navy Yard ballpark. But this time it was a little bit more adventurous because part of the Orange Line was out, and so we had to jump on a bus and then take a bus to another station. Then you take the train from that station to another station, then get off and swap train. It was a little bit of a mess, but we survived, and we had an awesome time. But to make this story of getting to witness Taylor's last game, getting to be there for Bob Carpenter's last game, to put it a little bit more in depth of why it has such a significance, for me and her even. We hadn't been to a game at Nats Park since the 2019 wild card game. Now that game will forever be embedded in my memory and hers. It was the most awesome live sporting event. Witnessing the comeback that led to the World Series and everything was just amazing, and it's a forever memory. But obviously 2020 came around. We were at the stadium in 2020. We went to Winterfest that was held early 2020 before all hell broke loose. But 2020 rolled around, we know what happened during that period. And then the team got broken up, and it was just like, okay, it took some of the spark away. And then I was talking to her on the way up there, and I was like, a lot of things have happened since we were at the ballpark 6 years ago for a game. And it really hit me. It was like my daughter had just entered high school. She completed high school. She will be 20 years old in November. My son graduated in 2019. He will now be 25. The whole entire time that we did SGC bulk submissions was between those times. Like, we started in 2020, So it's like the entire time we had been doing bulk submissions even, we hadn't been to a game. So I had quit my job and started working for myself during this period. Lots of changes, lots of things had happened during the course of this span, and it feels so, it didn't feel that long ago, but yet when you look at it that way, it's amazing at how long it had been. But then we went to the game, and I told her afterwards, I was like, walking back into that ballpark, it almost felt like nothing had changed. We were going in to the same field. There's some decorations of the World Series and some moments and stuff like that. But going into that ballpark, it felt like just yesterday we were there for the wild card game. So, Awesome to go see that, but there are some things I want to share with you guys. So, first of all, before I get into all of that, I want to share some of my favorite pieces. I feel I have a pretty good Michael Taylor collection. It got even better though, and I'm going to tell you why. But for starters, this is the 2013 Bowman. This is the paper, it is the white ice, and it is a 1 of 1. 2013 is actually the first year he was in Bowman, but they didn't put the first Bowman or anything on there. And obviously, like I said, 2014 is the one that I have been chasing, the Superfractor auto. Now, I have the non-auto, but I have been hunting for the autographed version. I literally have, there's 5 non-auto and 5 autographed red refractors. I have 2 of the non-auto and 2 of the auto. So I've been tracking stuff down. I have the jersey number 3 on up to, I think I'm at like green or blue or something like that right now. I've tracked down a good bit of those. So it's been fun accumulating the rainbow, but that one card has constantly avoided me. I have the 2015 Topps Chrome Rookie Superfractor. And I want to point out on this card, if you notice, he is wearing jersey number 18. Keep that in your mind as I'm going to share something here in a minute. And then here, this was a rookie year immaculate. Now, it's not game used, but it is his first ever bat knob card. He does have another bat knob card out now that I actually missed when it was up for auction. And I would have paid more than the person that won it. But anyway, hopefully it pops back up one day. But that is a rookie year bat knob card. So I said to keep in your mind the number 18. Well, rewinding back to the 2019 wildcard game, Nats Park used to have, a couple small team stores and then the main team store. And you used to be able to buy game-used merchandise right there at the ballpark. You could buy bats. You could buy cleats. You could buy baseballs. You could buy jerseys, hats, all kinds of stuff. Well, since the Fanatics takeover, I will tell you I've seen 3 game-used jerseys. Each of them had a $3,500 price tag to them. But, nevermore, back in 2019 at the wildcard game, there was one of the smaller team stores that had a rack outside that was discounted. It had jerseys on it. I looked through that rack and I came across something I never imagined that I would find. And this was in 2019, so 6 years ago. And that was a number 18 Michael Taylor jersey. Game used from the team store. It's significance because in 2014, his debut season, he only appeared in 17 games total for the entire season. He started a handful, but he made appearances in 17 games. That's the only year he wore number 18 for the Nationals. Now, he did wear number 18 when he played for the Pirates, but for the Washington Nationals, the only year he wore 18 was 2014. He switched to number 3 in 2015 and wore that throughout his Nationals career. So I bought that jersey at the wildcard game. I have had it ever since. It was an amazing piece to have as a Michael Taylor collector. But I said, you know what? This is his final game. I don't know if I will ever get the opportunity to get him to sign it again. So I want to share some things. It's already spoiled. There's a signature there. But I just want to kind of share the story. I've had him sign some cleats that are back there. He gave me a bat for my birthday one year. I have a couple other items that I've gathered along the way. But I'm going to take this camera off and just share some things. So the night before the game, I posted the Superfractor with a nice message. And you can see here his wife commented on the picture. We had the pleasure of several times talking to his wife, seeing her at Harrisburg when he was down at, in Harrisburg. We went up to a couple games. That's actually where he gave me the bat. We've had communications online before, both private messages, and, she was part of the Facebook group and all of that. So I can't say that, like, I know them, but there was some interaction between us and him and her over the course of, the years. So she's seen the post, she commented, well, before the game, I tried to make my way down to the side where the White Sox dugout was. Now, we got center field tickets, and I'll show you. This is zoomed in on the camera, obviously, but this was where our seats were. And I actually brought the Superfractor. I thought it would be fun to actually say the Superfractor attended his final game. You can see him there in the background. This was our seats right here, right behind him in center field. Awesome seats, especially because he was who we came to see. Almost witnessed history. If Brady House had not gotten a single in the 6th inning, the White Sox actually had a perfect game going. It ended up being a one-hitter. The only hit was the Brady House hit single in the 6th inning. There was another fielder's choice that got Brady House out at second, and then another base runner on first. But no walks, only one hit. Almost witnessed a perfect game. That would have been kind of cool, even though it was against my favorite team. But anyway, all right. So after the game, I couldn't get down. The ushers wouldn't let me down before the game. After the game. And I'll pull this back up real quick just to explain it better. I should have left it up. But over here is the White Sox dugout, and I noticed that he was over in this area after the game. There was some people around him. I could tell he was kind of signing, taking pictures for some fans and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to make it in time, but I'm going to at least put forth the effort, and I'm going to try to walk back around the ballpark and see if I can make my way down again. So this time I didn't have no problems. They let me right down, and when I got down there, I seen his wife, and I said, just said her name, Brianna, and she looked up, was recognized me, waved, said hi. She seen the jersey. She said, I'll let him know, see if he can get it done for you. I was like, all right, cool, no biggie. He was talking to some people. I am not the annoying, hounding fan. If he didn't get to it, so be it. It is what it is, right? I was not going to stand there and yell his name while he was talking to people. I was not going to bug him. These athletes appreciate you not hounding them. They will sign more for you. They will appreciate you more if you are just patient and let them handle what they were doing. And then if they get a moment, they can come and take care of whatever you got. So I was just standing there patient, wasn't bothering anybody. And one of the staff members actually came over, and he was like, hey, do you have anything for him to sign it with? And I was like, yes, sir. I have a blue Sharpie, handed it to him. He then took it onto the field and handed it to Michael, who, as you can see in this picture, signed it. He looked up. He also recognized me, said thank you. I thanked him, congratulated him on his career and everything, and let him get back to his conversations. So, it's kind of almost like, and this is kind of cliche and kind of maybe silly to say, but it was almost like this jersey came full circle, and it was meant to be in my collection. The fact of just getting to go to the wild card game and having the seats that we had at that game to begin with, the fact that the game used store that this came from was at the top of our section and just a little bit to the right. Like it was right there, basically at the top of the stairs for the seating section we were in. To find that jersey, knowing, as soon as I seen it, I couldn't believe it. I knew how little he wore that number. I would bet if another fan has one, I would be shocked. Because he would have a white, a gray, and then the red jersey. So to have it and then to bring it full circle, and the next time I go to a game is his final game, and be able, I had never gotten an autograph at a big league ballpark. I'd gotten autographs at the minor league games. Had never even tried getting autographs at the big league ballpark. And the first time I ever tried, the first one I ever got, happens to be him in his final game on a jersey from his debut season. It's just awesome. I'm going to tell you, this is a top 5 piece, no doubt, for my collection. And I know that there's always this talk of true collectors and this and that and whatever. And this guy got multiple standing ovations at this game. He is not a Mickey Mantle. He's not a Babe Ruth. He's not a Willie Mays. He's not a Hank Aaron. He's not a Hall of Famer. He batted just over 200 in his career, just over 100 home runs. Decent base stealer. Great defense. Like I said, he won a Gold Glove when he was at Kansas City. But he's far from a Hall of Famer. But to see the amount of fans that were there wearing his jersey, standing and giving him an ovation multiple times throughout the game, when they in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, his manager pulled him out to once again let him get an ovation. It was just, you could tell the appreciation that fans all throughout DC had for him. There was some massive moments. The wild card game when he got hit. It might have been a foul ball off the knob, but hit as a pinch hitter in that game, that was a big moment. That was during that whole exchange when we took the lead in that game. The grand slam at Wrigley Field in the playoffs on a night that the announcer said no ball was leaving the ballpark, and he hit a grand slam to opposite field even. His 490-plus foot home run. His walk-off at the new spring facility that when Washington opened that up. There's so many moments. The catch against the Dodgers. There's many, many, many moments. Was he a superstar? Was he a Hall of Famer? No. But the kid went out there and he played hard every single time his number got called. When he got moved down to the minor leagues, he didn't pout. He went down and he played. He kept in shape. He kept in tune with the game. He played just as hard as if he was at the big league level. That's why I enjoyed collecting him. Yes, I enjoy collecting outfielders, but to know a player is a good person, loves the game, gives it his all no matter what, doesn't get upset, doesn't pout, doesn't get down, doesn't boo-hoo, whine and cry, whatever. That is important. And it showed during that game and the reaction that the crowd, the fact that MLB talked all about him retiring, ESPN, all of these outlets were talking about his retirement when he's not a Hall of Fame player. He's a World Series champion. He's a Gold Glove winner. That shows he did something right. There are many, many, many stories, many, many, many fans of Michael Taylor. And I always joked and said, I don't know if I have any competition. I actually think that my collection, I'm even more proud of it because I actually believe he probably does have many collectors. I always thought, who's buying his stuff? Because, I always think, and I think many people do, when you see cards being bought, especially of modern stuff, you expect it to be the popular guys. The guys that are, the new rookies or the ones batting 300 with 40 home runs and that kind of stuff. You forget that there are a lot of fans of these good players, these good people. And so I would joke, who's buying Michael Taylor? Like, I thought I was the only one, and no, I'm not the only one. he has many fans, and that just makes me proud of the collection I've curated even more. It makes me wonder how many other people have collected him. Maybe, possibly, that Superfractor I've been hunting, there might be somebody out there hunting for things I have. I don't know. But I will always keep my eyes open. Congratulations to him on his career. Congratulations to him on his retirement. And I'm just, I'm glad he was a national. I'm glad he's somebody that I gravitated towards and focused my collecting around. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Sorry if it was a lot of rambling, a lot of talking, but this does mean a lot to me. And if you are a collector, especially a player collector, something like this, I think you understand the significance of. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next video, I'm out.